the birth pangs of the Messianic age, and the divine feminine in Kabbalistic, Sabbatian, Frankist, and ancient Syncretic traditions. The birth pangs of the Messianic age in Jewish eschatology. In Jewish eschatology, particularly within Talmudic and Kabbalistic frameworks, the birth pangs of the Messianic age, 𝗍𝗍𝗱𝗁𝗍, refer to a prophesied era of intense suffering, disorder, and upheaval that immediately precedes the coming of the Messiah. This period is not viewed as random, but as necessary labor, painful contractions that birth the new spiritual reality of the redeemed world. The Talmud, specifically Sanhedrin 9:8a-b, describes this time as one of moral collapse, persecution, economic instability, and widespread confusion. The sages detail an age in which truth will be absent, youth will insult elders, prices will rise, governments will be corrupt, and religious people will be mocked. One rabbi famously states, "Let the Messiah come, but may I not see him," reflecting the anticipated terror of that time. Midrashic and Zoharic sources emphasize that the world will be turned upside down, with evil rising to its highest point just before being overturned. This chaos is intrinsically connected to Kabbalistic cosmology, particularly the doctrine of 𝗍𝗿𝗱𝗱𝗁𝗱, the breaking of the vessels. According to this teaching, divine light shattered the primordial vessels, scattering holy sparks throughout the material world. The birth pangs signal the final phase of tikkun, repair, wherein those sparks must be painfully extracted and elevated from the darkness. The Kabbalistic interpretation, Lurianic worldview. In Lurianic Kabbalah, developed by Rabbi Isaac Luria in the 16th century, the birth pangs of the Messiah represent the culmination of a cosmic cleansing. Humanity's collective mission is to repair creation by reuniting the divine feminine, Malkut, Shekinah, with the masculine divine Zeirampin, Malkut. The lowest sapphire on the tree of life signifies manifestation, receptivity, and the imminent divine presence in the material world. She is in exile, holding within her the fallen sparks of divine light, trapped in the kalipot, shells of impurity. Through acts of mitzvot, spiritual intention, kavanah, and compassion, she is slowly elevated. The Messianic age is portrayed as a mystical wedding, the 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗱𝗏, union of the masculine and feminine aspects of God. In this view, female is not passive, she is essential, but wounded, veiled, and in need of elevation. The suffering and confusion of the world is likened to labor pains, a necessary process before birth, or geula, redemption. The Sabbatian interpretation, descent into sin for redemption. The Sabbatian movement, centered around the Messianic figure, 𝗧𝗿𝗱𝗱𝗶𝗁𝗍, emerged in the 17th century and offered a radical reinterpretation of Lurianic Kabbalah. Influenced by the concept of hidden sparks trapped in impurity, Sabbatians claimed that redemption must come through sin, not purity. The Messiah must descend into darkness, including apostasy, heresy, and sexual transgression, to liberate the deepest sparks. In this system, Malkut, Shekinah, is no longer merely exiled, but merged with Lilith, the dark feminine. She becomes the fallen bride, or 𝗍𝗆, dwelling in impurity. The Messiah's sacred task is to marry the Shekinah in her lowest form, embracing impurity as a redemptive act. Sabbatian theology describes a world turned inside out, where evil rises and hypocrisy is exposed. Religious law may be broken mystically to achieve divine goals. The feminine is paradoxical. She is both sacred and profane, pure and impure, and becomes a vessel of redemption through inversion. The Frankist interpretation, destruction as redemption. Jacob Frank, an 18th century mystic and self-proclaimed Messiah, expanded Sabbatianism into an even more radical, antinomian doctrine. Frankism taught that the birth pangs of the Messiah were not just suffering, but the violent annihilation of all religious and moral systems, Judaism, Christianity, Islam alike. Frankists declared that extreme sin, especially incest, heresy, and apostasy, was sacred, used to shatter the shells, 𝗧𝗍𝗶𝗁𝗱, and reveal a hidden, premoral divine truth. The Messiah in this system was a destroyer, not a redeemer, an agent who brings the collapse of all order, allowing for the rebirth of the true God, hidden beneath centuries of theological falsehood. Here, the feminine is revolutionary. Shekinah, Lilith, and the whore of Babylon are merged into one archetype, the sancted transgressor. She is not redeemed, she redeems, by tearing down the Father God and unveiling the age of the Mother. Frankist myth speaks of incest as return to pre-fall unity, and the sancted whore as the liberator of truth. The feminine, once exiled, becomes the true goddess, emerging only after the destruction of all male-dominated systems. Her power is found in filth, pain, and paradox, the dark light needed to complete cosmic redemption. Names of the divine feminine in Jewish mysticism. In Kabbalistic and heretical Jewish mysticism, the divine feminine appears under many names and forms. Shekinah, meaning dwelling, the exiled divine presence in the world. Malkut, meaning kingdom, the 10th Sephirah, vessel of divine light. Bat Melech, meaning daughter of the king, poetic symbol of Shekinah in exile. Rachel, symbol of revealed Shekinah, associated with visible suffering. Leah, hidden Shekinah, higher level of feminine spirituality. 𝗖𝘆𝗰𝗶𝗴𝗶, meaning mother of the children, nurturing soul of Israel. Lilith, demoness of night, in Sabbatianism, emerged dark Shekinah. Kenegdo, meaning opposite him, the erotic or adversarial feminine. The naked matron, Zoharic symbol of fallen Shekinah in need of redemption. Motranita Harasha, meaning the evil matron, sancted feminine in impurity. Frankism, whore of Babylon, apocalyptic feminine, sacred in transgression. Eve, reinterpreted by Frankists as redeemer through inversion. The true goddess, the feminine divine hidden behind all religion. Religious syncretism and the ancient goddesses. The divine feminine in Jewish mysticism mirrors earlier Near Eastern, Mediterranean, and Egyptian goddesses, absorbed or repressed through religious syncretism. Inanna, Sumeria, Lady of Heaven, goddess of love, war, and justice, descends to the underworld and returns, symbol of death rebirth. Ishtar, Babylonia, Akkad, Semitic counterpart of Inanna, goddess of erotic violence, war, and kingship, linked with Venus and sacred prostitution. Astarte, Ashtoreth, Canaanite, Phoenician, meaning womb or star, sovereign goddess of fertility, war, and love, known as Queen of Heaven, autonomous, cosmic, and worshipped with sexual rites, consort of Baal or El, though often acts independently. Isis, Egypt, meaning throne, goddess of magic, resurrection, and motherhood. Resurrects Osiris, becomes Queen of Heaven in Greco-Roman Egypt. Isis is symbolically and cosmologically associated with the star Sirius. Aphrodite, Greek, born from sea foam, goddess of love and beauty. Powerful, but often depicted passively. Venus, Roman, from venere meaning charm or desire. More maternal and civilizational than Aphrodite. Diana, Roman, meaning divine, a virgin huntress and protector of women. Moon goddess, independent and fierce, merry, Christianity. From Miriam meaning bitterness or beloved, virgin mother of God, officially passive, but secretly contains Shekinah-like power. Queen of Heaven in mystical Christianity. These goddesses are part of a unified archetype, one that is sovereign, erotic, maternal, and apocalyptic. Over time, as monotheism solidified, the divine feminine was either subordinated, demonized, or reinterpreted. In Kabbalah and mystical heresies, she re-emerges as both redeemer and destroyer, reflecting an ancient cycle of power, exile, and return. Blue rain, the womb waters of redemption. In mystical and Kabbalistic symbolism. Blue rain represents the sacred outpouring of the divine feminine, the Shekinah, as she labors to birth the Messiah into the world. The color blue, long associated with divine mercy, the heavenly realms, and the feminine sapphire of Malkut, evokes both the celestial origin and the nurturing presence of the Shekinah. Rain, as a life-giving force, becomes the fluid of cosmic birth, a mingling of divine tears, amniotic waters, and the essence of hidden light descending from the upper worlds. In this esoteric reading, blue rain is not merely a sign of blessing, but a rupture in the veil of exile, a signal that the long-awaited unification between the masculine and feminine aspects of God is imminent. It is the Shekinah's water breaking, the mystical prelude to the Messianic age, washing over a fractured world to prepare it for redemption, healing, and the return of divine harmony. Conclusion: the birth pangs of the Messianic age, as taught in Jewish eschatology, symbolize a final cosmic upheaval in which the world is broken to be healed. Across Lurianic, Sabbatian, and Frankist frameworks, the divine feminine plays a central and evolving role. From the exiled Shekinah to the sated 𝗲𝗲, and finally the liberated goddess, she reflects a continuous thread of divine power, repressed, inverted, and finally reborn. Through religious syncretism, the Jewish mystical feminine is inseparably linked with Inanna, Ishtar, Astarte, Isis, Aphrodite, Venus, Diana, and Mary, faces of the same archetypal being, whose return may signal not just redemption, but the end of the old world and the birth of a new cosmic order.